Welcome to 13 Nights of Fright. Tonight is night 7, and I am sharing some Twisty books with unreliable narrators. So, in these stories, you can't quite trust the person telling you the story, as they will lead you down dark, twisted paths. And just when you think you figured it out, bam, a twist. And that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. So, tonight I'll be sharing 6 books that feature unreliable narrators. Of course, I'll share what you can expect without spoilers. And at the end, I'll let you know what's tomorrow's theme. The first book I'm super excited to share with you is a classic, and it's We Have Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. Now, this is a novel that has it all: family secrets, eerie atmosphere, and a truly haunting narrator. Now, the story follows Mary Cat Blackwood, a young woman living with her sister Constance and their ailing uncle in a secluded mansion. Now, the rest of their family has died under mysterious circumstances, and the local townspeople treat them with hostility and suspicion. Now, in the novel, we see Mary Cat recount the life of just living in the Blackwood home. Now, readers will start to pick up cues and clues about her dark past and just the secrets that the Blackwood sisters are holding. And again, we can't really trust her, so we don't know if she's telling us the truth. Now, what makes this book absolutely fascinating? Well, first, the atmosphere, which is absolutely brilliant, but it's all unreliable narrator. You're starting to question, is she telling you the truth? Is it a lie? Is she a victim, or is she the villain? Or perhaps it's something even stranger. Is she innocent, or is she pure evil? But anyway, that's what you can expect in We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. Now, the next book on my list is more of a modern classic, right? I think it really helped to propel the genre and the idea of unreliable narrators. It just put it back into the forefront because, again, unreliable narrators have existed for a really long time. This one really kind of pushed the agenda in the contemporary space. And the book I am talking about is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Now, in Gone Girl, we meet a couple, Nick and Amy, and they seem like a super perfect couple, but of course, they have some dark secrets. Now, Amy disappears on their 5th wedding anniversary. The case becomes this big media sensation. And naturally, we start to turn eyes on the husband, right? It has to be the husband. So all eyes turn on Nick. But of course, nothing is all as it seems. Now, through the novel itself, the story is told through alternating perspectives. We get Nick's point of view in the present, but then we get Amy's diary entries. And as the story starts to progress, both narrators start revealing more about themselves, and you're just realizing just how deceptive and manipulating they are. You also notice all the betrayal that's at the heart of the novel, and it will leave you audibly gasping. So expect endless twists and just an exploration of how far people will go to hide the truth. So yeah, that's what you can expect in Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. The next book on my list is by an author duo. And I just remember thinking, I'm not so sure how I feel about author duos writing books and stuff like that. But this pair, it really worked for me. And this one is filled with so much psychological twist that will have you second guessing every character's motives and who they're really talking about. And the book I'm excited to share is The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. Now, at first glance, The Wife Between Us appears to be a novel about a scorned woman who's obsessing over her ex-husband's new fiance, but I promise you, things are far more complex than they seem. Now, as we dive deeper in the story, we realize that we're not just dealing with your typical love triangle, but actually this is something more layered and more sinister. Now, there's not much more I can say without spoiling this one, because again, on the surface, it seems like one thing, but it's something completely different. But all you need to know, this is a super layered story. It is so clever. Again, everything you think you know, just throw it out the door. And it just will have you questioning, like, who is really manipulating who and whether anyone is truly trustworthy. So yeah, that's what you can expect in The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. The next book on my list is another book that just kind of really pushed the unreliable narrator to the forefront. This book was a global phenomenon, and in my opinion, for good reason. And the book I am talking about is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. Now, The Girl on the Train is for readers who love that dark, domestic mystery that kind of feels all too real. Now, the story follows Rachel, a woman whose life she feels like she's completely spiraling, right? She's spiraling out of control. So she spends her days riding the train, she's looking out the window, and she's just making up stories in her head about the people that she sees. Now, in particular, she's kind of, taken on to this couple, and in her head, she's given them names and everything. They seem like they have this really perfect relationship. But when the woman from that couple she sees on the train goes missing, we see our main character, Rachel, insert herself into the investigation, and she's really trying to piece what happened. Despite the fact that her memory is really shaky, she also has a troubled past. And remember, she's riding the train because she's spiraling in her own life. Now, this book is filled with red herrings, unreliable memories, and just characters whose motives are just as murky and messy as Rachel's memory. Now, I have to tell you, The Girl on the Train, if you haven't read it already, it is so addictive. It's such an addictive, page-turning read. It will have you guessing everything. It will have you questioning the truth until the final reveal. It's so, so good. And I hope you add it to your reading list if you haven't already. And that's what you can expect from The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. Okay, the next book on my list, I remember reading it for the first time and it had me going back and double checking chapters for clues. It blends suspense, psychological twist, also domestic secrets into just, into this kind of page-turning thriller. And the book I'm talking about is Goodnight Beautiful by Amy Malloy. Now, Goodnight Beautiful revolves around a couple, they're newlyweds, Sam and Annie. Now, Sam is a therapist and he set up his new practice in their home and he begins meeting with his patients in this room. And it has like a vent situation, I think, where every word that's happening in the sessions can be overheard. Now, when he goes missing, lots of secrets start to surface and we just kind of go on this roller coaster ride with, of course, the wife and everything. And we really start to question just their love and lots of betrayal in this relationship and just honestly, all the secrets that lie within a relationship. It's also a spine-tingling read. Again, have you second guessing everything. And Goodnight Beautiful by Amy Malloy. The next book on my list is another one about a marriage on the rocks. It seems marriages with problems are fertile ground for like thrillers and unreliable narrators because these people out here are not telling us the truth. So the next book I'm excited to share with you is Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. So like I said, Rock, Paper, Scissors is about a marriage on the rocks, and we just kind of see secrets being revealed in the most unexpected ways. Now, this couple, their names are Adam and Amelia, and they have gone on this weekend getaway in this remote Scottish cabin. It's not a relaxing vacation. For you and I and, friends, we would probably have a good time. But this is actually their last-ditch attempt to save their crumbling marriage. Now, a whole bunch of strange things start to occur. Then we realize, wait, they have their own agendas. And then we have some other characters getting involved. And we just end up as readers in this deadly game where the stakes couldn't be higher. Now, the story and just all the clues that we're getting, we get this through alternating perspectives. We also have diary entries in there. We also get some flashbacks. And honestly, again, what we get is just this story filled with deception and jaw-dropping twists. But again, it's clear marriages on the rocks are fertile grounds for an unreliable narrator and some dark, twisty things happening. So that's what you can expect from Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. Okay, so there you have it, 6 books featuring some really unreliable narrators. But I want to hear from you. Tell me about some of your favorite twisty books. with Unreliable Narrators. Share them in the comments below. Let's swap some book recommendations because, hey, I love getting a shiver down my spine and I love reading books when I don't know who to trust. So again, let's continue the conversation and the book recommendations in the comments. And don't forget to join me tomorrow for night 8. We will be diving into haunted houses, but now it's the classic edition. And you won't want to miss it. It's going to be a good time. But until then, stay spooky and keep the lights on.